Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Straightforward Farming Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Reed, alongside Mr. Nick McCormick. And this evening, we got a couple special guests in the studio.
Very special.
And one of them is very special to Nick. I'll let you do the honors.
My wife, Kelly McCormick, is with us tonight.
We have been blessed with her presence. It is 7:39 in the evening, so we've got 5 to 10 minutes.
10 minutes max.
Yep, and we'll be done.
That's why I'm here tonight, to defend my honor. Every single person at the farm show was like, how are you still awake? And I was like, you jerks.
I don't know where they got that from.
I don't know where they got it either. Wasn't from us.
Right. Because I understand that you don't listen to our podcast, right?
I've listened to a few of them.
A few of
I
them.
have. I have not listened to all of them.
Okay.
It makes me nervous.
Me too.
Sometimes when I go back to put these online, I'm actually kind of listening to it for the first time because I don't really remember what we said the night before.
Yeah, sometimes it gets carried away.
In fact, I think the last podcast was a pretty good example of that.
No doubt.
Went a little bit off the rails, but that's okay. So we've all come back from the Louisville Farm Show in one piece. I had a great time.
Great time. Absolutely great time.
How about you, Carolyn? She's here with us too, my lovely wife. I guess I didn't even introduce her. But
thank you for that.
Yeah.
I was patiently waiting.
Yep. But no, I had a good time. Took the boy down Thursday. I think he got bored pretty quick.
Yeah. And there's only so much kids can look at the farm show.
Yeah, exactly. Everything they wanted to get up in, there was already 3 people in the cab of, so that got old pretty quick. But other than that, they seemed to like it, and I don't know. We went back Friday with only the intention of meeting people, shaking hands. Wasn't really nothing there I wanted to see. So we hung out Friday, goofed around a little bit, and that was about it. But we had a good time. So,
yeah.
First time I'd been there in 15 years probably. So
yeah. I'd like to thank everybody that came up and said hi.
Yeah.
We got a ton of compliments on the podcast, and just nice to meet a lot of great people.
Did you get a lot of people come through Broadbent where your tractor was?
A fair amount. I didn't spend a ton of time over there, though, because we walked the farm show with you guys in the afternoon there on Thursday, so I wasn't in there a bunch, but yes.
Yeah. I met a lot of really cool people, got to shake a lot of hands, and just had a good time. It was, I'm glad I went. I think we talked on that last podcast. It's one of them deals, when you first announced that you're going to go, 3 months ago, you're like, yeah, that'll be fun. And then as it gets closer, you're like, man, I don't really want to go. And then the last minute, you kind of get hopped up again, ready to go. And I'm glad I went. So had a real good time. And I guess the dirty little secret here is your wife used to work for a major competitor of tractors that you run, right?
Allegedly. I've never really heard of the company, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Somebody said they got started making plows, but I've researched that, and that's a lie, so I'm not really sure.
Uh-huh. They're very good at copying other people's designs, so we're not going to mention any names.
We can't beat her down early on in this deal, Tony. She'll just get up and leave. That's
I've been married to you for how many years? I'm used to defending my background in that area.
Yes, sir. I think one of the things that I was impressed with most of the show was the Fendt planter. I don't know anything about the Fendt planter. I mean, it might be a piece of junk, but my God, that thing had a lot of steel in it.
It did have a lot of steel in it. Yeah.
Unreal.
Kind of a unique setup.
Yeah.
Where they're not raising lower in the tanks, just raising lower the row units, which makes some sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
That tongue is, it's there.
Yeah. I guess when you see the price of these things, you do at least feel like you're not getting ripped off with some chintzy piece of junk. I mean, that had some steel in it.
Yeah, it ought to be there for a while. Yeah. Very well built.
I still can't get past the Fendt tractor cabs. I think they're probably great. I've heard a lot of really good things about them, but my God, there's a lot of buttons in one of them. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you're missing a few fingers, that'd be difficult to run.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
But everybody I've talked to really seems to like them.
Yeah.
Says they're a good tractor.
That one's a little different than the one I was in prior. That's a new cab and display or stuff and whatnot that they've got now, different from the one I ran. Yeah. So, there's a lot of buttons.
So what do you girls think? What was one of the neatest things you guys seen? Was there anything like jumped out at you when you walked by it?
Carolyn.
Okay, I'll jump in.
You go ahead.
So the highlight for Henry, I think, was the tractor pull, because he's never seen anything like that. And that just made his entire year. And I thought it was so funny was we had given him a phone before, and he's got the screensaver saved now to Nick's tractor, and there's like 100 videos of Nick pulling on it.
He almost videoed the whole pull, I think.
Yeah. So I thought it was cool. It had been 15 years since I had been to the last one, so I really enjoyed the tractor pull.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I hadn't been there.
When I looked over, it looked like he had a pretty big smile on his face, like he was enjoying it. So
yep.
I actually had to laugh because Henry has your tractor saved on his phone as his screensaver, and he's like, Nick did this and Nick did that. And then Max was in Tony's.
Who would be Nick's son?
Yeah, and had his Growing Corn 2020 sweatshirt on. And I was like, Nick is Tony's hero, or Nick is Henry's hero, and you are Max's hero.
Yeah,
We're a little flip-flop here.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, them two were talking a mile a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So how about you, Kelly? What did you see? Anything?
It was, for me, it's probably been 15 years since I've been there. And when the last time I was there, I was actually working the show in a booth and everything. And so for me, it's just fun to go back through there and still see some familiar faces. I mean, Nick and I would walk through and even outside of the company that I used to work for, looking through the AGCO booth or, Case's booth, et cetera. You see those same people year after year at each show, and we'd work 8-10 shows a year. And so you're like, yeah, you just see familiar faces. And so for me, that was the fun part, is just seeing those people that I worked with years and years ago.
Yep. I was actually disappointed in Deere's display as far as, they didn't have what they would normally have there. And that could be due to COVID,
I'm sure it was. I think a lot of companies changed up their plan based on what they're able to take orders for currently, because they're sold out of a lot of things. So why show at the farm show so you can get yelled at on, I can't buy an X9 combine because you're out of them, but you've got one here. We'll take a T-shirt trailer because we have T-shirts.
Yeah, which makes sense, And actually the Fendt guy told me that Fendt combine there was used. That come from just north of us here, which you'd have never known it. They've done a really nice job cleaning it up, and I'm sure they rattle can.
That guy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure they had to rattle can a few areas, but you would have never known it was used.
No, they did a nice job on it, yeah. Like I said, and there was a couple companies that were absent, I think, because they were sold out of stuff, and they're like, well, why show something we physically can't produce?
Sure.
So, but all in all, great farm show,
Yeah.
If you go every year like I do, like some things never change, but I don't really like change, so I appreciate that about some things, whatnot. But it was a good show overall. A lot of nice stuff there.
Yeah. Did I miss? So we basically hung out in the South Wing pretty much the whole time. We walked around the arena to, I don't know if that had been like the horse barns, were like tools, like Milwaukee tools and some of them. But was like Tempty trailers, hopper bottom.
Yeah, they were there.
Okay,
yeah.
I must have missed some of that stuff then.
So a bunch of that stuff would be, I can't tell you what wing it is, probably the west wing maybe. It's between Broadbent and the north and south wings.
Okay.
So I see all that when I'm jogging over because we always come through Broadbent.
Okay.
So I always jog through all that stuff on my way to the south wing and the north wing.
I believe that was the wing that we just walked in the door and we barely started walking, and then we had to go meet up with them.
Yeah, it could have been, because it was funny. Some of them people from out of state that was there from Tik Tok was talking about like the south wing, where deer and all that was. They couldn't believe how big that was or whatever, and they thought that was the whole show. I'm like, no, there's a lot more
portion of it. Yeah.
So, it'd take you 3 or 4 days to walk that whole thing if you wanted to actually take it in.
I've always thought at some level maybe they ought to reorganize it and put like all the livestock stuff. Like let's say you're looking for livestock shoots. There's probably 50 companies down there that have them, but they're scattered out throughout the show, which I guess is good. But if you're going to specifically compare one against the other, it'd almost be handier if they were all together.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
but that's tough to do too, because there again, people are like me; they don't like change, and they've had that spot. That was their booth in 1985, and by gosh, that's what they wanted. And I get that; that's fine.
Sure.
And it forces you to walk the show.
Yeah,
to take it all in. Yeah. But you can't really walk it all in a day if you're looking for 5 specific items, and browse in the meantime. It takes a while.
Yeah. They do a really nice job of that whole thing, stream. I was even impressed, like at the tractor pull. there's never a misstep. Everybody.
It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, it's just like clockwork. They do a really nice job.
I thought this year's farm show pull probably, as a whole, was probably one of the best I've ever been to on organization, flow of the show. The quality of the show was really, really good, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it went off without a hitch. And like I said, I couldn't really compare it because it had been so long since I've been there. But, boy, you could just tell. Everybody was right where they needed to be and kept it moving.
They've moved some new players in the game, some little younger people and whatnot, and it's given some rejuvenation to it or whatever, and everything was moving really nice, I thought.
Yep. In fact, I stumbled across a TikTok last night, I believe it was. They were showing them building the track there. Had a couple of cat dozers in there and, working it all down and whatnot.
Did you see the video where they took it out and put the basketball court in yet that night?
No, I didn't.
It's a time-lapse deal or whatever, but it doesn't take long, because you were telling my daughter that they were going to put a basketball court in there, and she wasn't believing you. So I found the video and showed it to her. Yeah. They picked that thing up lickety-split. It didn't take long.
Right? How big of sections is that floor in? Them like 8 by 8
It's hard to tell because the video is from a fairly good distance, but yeah, they're not, I'd say 4 by 4 panels maybe.
Really? I wasn't sure what the...
Yeah, they're not, well, that one might be a little different than that, but like the old Boston Garden, I think, where it was parkade, was like 4 by 4 chunks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a nice job of the way that all fits together. Because I mean, once that's a court, I mean, you can't see seams in it or how they lock that together and whatnot. They do
a nice job of it.
But yeah, because I had to show your daughter that night. Because at first she didn't believe. I mean, she did believe me, but she couldn't wrap her brain around it. So I just found a basketball game, and you know how in there it says Freedom Hall and all that around there. And so I showed her. I said, "Look at the writing in there, or whatever."
It's been within the last 3 or 4 years they took down all the jerseys and all that stuff. Louisville hasn't played there for quite a while, but they still had some of the retired jerseys and banners and that stuff up because they got all new ones for the Center. I assume. Well, they finally took all that stuff down and took the ceiling out and all that.
Yeah, because as what first brought it up was she was sitting there looking and she noticed the scoreboards. And she said, "Why is there scoreboards in there?" And then I told her that that's where they played ball or whatever. So
for years.
Yep, you'd never know it.
I think back in the day, well, it's no different this year probably, but they had a game on Sunday after that because I know the trucks would be lined up Saturday night. As soon as the last tractor went down the track, sled was off and they were picking up dirt before you got to your car.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and somebody said on TikTok, providing it was true, because they named off the guys who actually put that dirt together. It was Darius Harms and gave all the names, but they said it's the same dirt every year.
It's the same dirt every year. They store it in a barn on the fairgrounds there, and that's the same dirt every year. Yeah. They actually just added to it for this year, I heard, because originally they got more dirt to add to it that was the same dirt as before, basically. Same consistency, same area, whatnot. So they accidentally brought in all the dirt, and then the track was too tall, and they had to take some of it back out.
Oh, no.
But, you always lose some.
Yeah, exactly.
So they finally found the same source and put some fresh with it. And it loses its organic matter over time and whatnot, so it's good to do that. But they pull all that out, and the little floor scrubber takes off, and it scrubs it all down. They squeegee it up, and bang, the basketball floor goes down, and that's the end of it. Yeah.
What year did that pole start down there? Do you know?
No, I don't. Dad could probably tell me. He's been to every one but maybe two.
Like the 60s maybe, or would it have been?
Yeah, I think late 60s, really? I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be something.
Something like that.
Okay, I have a stupid question. Why do they reuse the dirt every year?
Well, one, why go get new dirt all the time when they can just store it right there? They don't have to bring it from a distance that way. Then they don't have to. Then it's good dirt. They got good dirt to begin with, and that way they've always got it.
Okay. I wondered if it was like a superstitious thing.
No, it's just why would you want to have to go dig a hole every year?
Right, and truck it in and
out.
That's a lot of dirt. I mean, because I think somebody said that track was about 2 feet tall. Does that sound right?
Probably.
So
probably right there.
That's several loads of dirt. I mean, you go dump a tandem load in there and it don't go very far.
It don't go very far. No, that's for sure. I think it might have said in that video how many loads there were, and I was going to remember what that was, but I don't remember what it was now. But.
No, that was pretty neat. I'm glad I went and would definitely go back again. For those of you that haven't been there, it's one of them things you got to go once. I mean,
you got to go once.
You really do. It's really something to see. It's kid friendly, good for kids, and really, I mean, providing you're not clear down south in cotton and sugarcane country. But I mean, you're fairly, in the Midwest, do any kind of farming that we do here. They got anything and everything you want. So it's pretty neat. But so, what else do you guys find interesting down there? You girls find anything you couldn't live without? No knick-knacky things you wanted to bring home or something that you seen that was cool? Actually,
I didn't see any knick-knacky things to purchase. There was one store I saw that was I think it was Pink Tractor maybe, and they had a few things. But from where we were, I didn't really see it because I had wanted to go buy the kids some toys, like toy tractors and stuff, and I couldn't find them.
So there are some of those, but they're in what I would call like side rooms to some of the wings, and you probably didn't go through them. There is some of that. There's like a quilting area and some of that stuff, different things, more geared toward ladies, etc. There's some toy tractor stuff. There is some of that, but it's kind of in niche areas.
Is there quite a bit of stuff that's upstairs then too? Because whenever we were walking, we came in the main entrance that one day, and I looked up and I could see maybe one or two booths is what I would call them.
I don't think there's a ton up there. I'll be honest with you. It's probably been 10 years since I've been upstairs. I don't think there's a ton up there because that upstairs is not that big. If I remember right, like I said, it's been a long time since I've been up there, and that was probably on accident. But
I figured it was probably just something selling T-shirts, maybe a few toys. It didn't look like nothing major. So
no, I don't think so.
Yep.
Actually, I take that back. Whenever we were in the John Deere booth, they had a little almost like a stage where you walked up. Do you remember that?
For what? Walked up for what?
To buy merchandise from John Deere.
John, they had a semi trailer there.
But there was a line of 30 people to get up there, and that whenever we walked there, I was like, forget it.
But that's new. I've never seen them have that there before. Really? I don't think. Maybe they had it last time we had the farm show, which was 2 years ago. But I don't think they did. I think that's a new deal.
So Kelly, when you worked for Deere, did you actually work that show?
Yes.
Did you?
Yes, several times.
Okay. And so
Yeah.
you were the whipping post then. Everybody got to come with complaints and scream and yell. Is that right?
Well, and I worked for the Precision Farming Group in the late 90s, so there was a lot of whipping going on at the time. And so we were all still just trying to figure out GPS. So, I worked the Louisville Farm Show several times. Yeah. It's it's one of the harder shows to work, and you don't think about it this way, but you're on concrete from 9 till 6, and that extra hour versus like Farm Progress where you're on soil just till 5 o'clock, that extra hour is a killer hour. I mean, you go back to your hotel room and, even with double padding, carpeting, blah, 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 blah.
I would believe that.
You're like, wow, this is aging my 24-year-old body here.
I would think most of them people by the end of that Louisville show would be peopled out. It's just like
ready to pack up and go home.
Just get out of here. I wouldn't want that job if it was me. But.
So compared to when you used to work at Kelly, do you feel like the show was is it different? Is it still very similar to when you worked at 15 years ago?
I would say similar, but you have to realize too, so, there's several different marketing groups within a big company like Deere. You've got factory marketing where you're a specialist just in one area. So I worked at Precision Farming my first few years, and so I was just, precision farming, and that was it. And then you have, the territory marketing staff who's working with the dealers and the farmers and everything. And so you're a little bit more, across the board, you're a specialist for what's ever on your territory. And so when you're factory marketing, I know there was one fall that I worked like 8 or 10 farm shows. It was every single week. I can remember being in Saskatchewan, Canada. Was that called the Red Deer Farm Show? But I remember it was August, and I had to go and buy gloves and a hat. It was freezing. It was just freezing. And so, it's all a blur. You go from show to show to show. Louisville's, kind of different because it's in the spring, but, summer and the fall and stuff, every week you're at a different show.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. That would, no. Do a couple a year would be fine, but man, just to run the
nomad life is not for Tony.
No, not like that. It's not to go deal with a bunch of people that most of them are going to be complaining. You know what I mean? I don't know. They say Louisville, like on Saturday is the day not to go because it's just solid kids and just a lot of people.
On Saturday.
Was it?
It was busy.
I wonder what the attendance ended up being. If it was average.
I haven't heard,
but
I would say it was about normal. Just from judging it from my point.
Was like the Saturday night pool pretty well filled?
It was sold out.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Nope. I don't know.
It's good to hear, though, that the attendance was normal because I knew there was rumors that with COVID and everything like that, they thought attendance would be way down and stuff like that. Yeah. I felt like it was pretty packed both Thursday and Friday when we were there.
I thought there was several.
Yeah. Wednesday was a little slow maybe, but it's always a little slow. Like my advice is if you really want to see something, like if there's something you're going to specifically to see, hit it Wednesday so you can actually go look at it without 25 people shoving you out of the way.
Yeah. I suppose as you've been there enough, does it just get busier as the week
goes on?
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah. Because most people don't want to take off that much for work, et cetera, so they'll roll down Thursday night, be there Friday and Saturday, roll home. Yeah.
I wonder, a company like Deere, the average guy ain't going there to buy a new combine. For the most part. I'm not saying you're not going to compare it to something else, maybe, but, what do them companies at the end of the day necessarily get out of these shows? Because, Deere case, it sells itself. It really does. They wouldn't have to do that, but yet when everybody else does it, you got to kind of follow suit. But, man, that costs a lot of money.
It does cost a lot of money.
In fact, it costs a small fortune to do it. I think the average Joe would crap if he's seen what it costs to rent the wood chips or to lay the carpet down or whatever. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Time you get it all in there and truck it all in, pay the people to work the show,
right?
Truck it all back out.
Hotels, it's millions of dollars, millions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You think by the time we're in our 60s that these things will be kind of come and gone? You think?
No. Honestly, I think they'll get bigger.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Could be.
It's grown every year since I was a kid for the most part. I've heard they're going to add on or do some change into the Expo Center itself. to get more space. Well, and I don't know how the other shows go down there, but I'm assuming the farm show is one of the bigger ones they have.
Yeah, I suppose the next biggest would probably be the truck, semi truck.
I would assume.
Just because they're so big, like farm machinery takes up a lot of space.
They told us that, or I heard sometime through there that farm show week is over 20% of their income for the year for the Kentucky State Fair Board.
No kidding.
So I don't know what all they have their hands in, but yeah, it's over 20% just in that week, which there's a lot of weeks left after the farm show. So
I guess they probably sign a long-term contract on that deal, or do they have to bid that?
I assume so. I mean, it's been there as long as I can remember, and I don't know who really runs it. If the Kentucky State Fair Board and the Expo Center puts that on, or if that's if there's a committee and a group that hosts that and they bring it to them. I don't know how that works.
Right. Yeah, and I guess I don't know enough about some of the other colleges or whatever you want to call that, because that is technically a college there, ain't it, or not?
Well, it's in a college town, but that's the fair.
So that's strictly the fair. That don't have nothing to do with the college or nothing.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with college.
Okay.
The Kentucky State Fair Board owns that Expo Center, to my understanding.
Oh, really? Okay, I wasn't sure if that was tied in with the college, and they used that in the.
I don't think so. Well, they used to play basketball there, and there used to be a football stadium there. If you'll remember, when you looked out of the main door of Broadbent, there used to be a football stadium there.
Oh, really? Yeah, I forgot.
Now it's further on. You can see the light up sign at night. But there used to be a football stadium right there. They just tore that down in the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh, dang.
So
yeah, for some reason, I was thinking maybe the college had something to do.
I think the state owns it.
Okay.
Somehow or another, and I assume they leased it to the college or however that worked.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you think around through the Midwest, it's like you'd be hard-pressed to find another, venue to have that at.
There's not another one of that size.
Yeah. Especially if you're wanting to include the tractor pull and everything else that goes along with it.
There was talk last year when they didn't have it or whatever about it going to Indy, but it's not big enough, I don't think.
Right. In fact, Indy has their own little farm show. You can walk the whole thing in 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I don't remember now if that was somewhere downtown. I've been there once a long time ago.
Yeah, so they've got the convention center downtown that's tied into like the Lucas Oil Dome.
Yeah, maybe that's where. Yeah,
it's right off the side of it.
That might have been where it was. It's been too long now.
Like where the PRI show would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to know the financials of what the Kentucky Expo Center makes from that, because everybody who sets up or whatever, I'm sure they charge them to set up a booth, all the food people that set up, everything like that.
I have heard at one time what that brings to the city of Louisville. It's way past 20 million from what I remember.
Counting hotels and all.
Yeah, I totally believe it.
You got to think every hotel that's anything very close to there is sold out.
Oh, for sure.
Generally, at double their normal rate or triple.
Yeah. It's amazing how many people that's their annual trip.
Yeah.
There's guys that have been going there every year for 40 years, And
I haven't missed a year. Gosh, probably since my junior year of high school, maybe.
Is that right?
I don't think.
Yep.
I think I've been there every year.
I didn't see as many FFA kids. Of course, we were there Thursday and Friday.
The last several years, you haven't seen as many.
Really?
Well, it's bigger. It costs more to go.
And maybe it's more of a weekend gig, and I wasn't there.
Yeah, and the roads, different places were sketch, and it's hard to get permission to do this, that, and the other. And and you know how we were on those trips. So I suspect some of that's probably come back to...
No, Nick, I don't know how you were on those trips. Tell us more.
I was very well behaved on those trips. My hotel room did not cost me any extra money. Not everyone on that trip can say that.
No,
Tony,
they can't. They said you could stay there for $100 a night, but it's usually about $300.
I'm shocked to my very core.
Yeah, we'll just
Moving
leave
on.
it. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Moving on. Let's not rehash.
So what else you guys want to talk about? We got a war going on now.
Yeah, we got a war going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
A lot.
I think it's going to be over as quick as it started.
Yeah, it won't last long. No, won't last long.
You guys are awful quiet.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to say
What's the
that.
deal? You guys haven't been this quiet since ever.
No, I don't know what I think about if it's going to end quickly or not. I think it's a bad situation. I feel for the Ukrainian people. I pray for them. It's terrible what they're going through, but also I see a lot of things that they're fighting back, and that's, I don't know what the word I want to say is. That's, stop waving me over. I'm
nobody can hear you. What's the point?
Okay. Anyhow, it's heartening to see that they're fighting and not just giving up. So,
I think the weird thing about anything that happens in that region of the world is, Russia's controlled the media so long. We don't know much about the goings on, the inner workings of how any of that goes. We only know what they've allowed us to know over the years. So it's really hard to, and we're not that familiar with the geography, So, we've seen some James Bond movies or something. It's the only reason you know half those places otherwise the name would be nothing to you. It's from some movie generally, so otherwise it's hard to keep up on all of what's happening there in the backstories.
Well, and it's also one of those things that it is far enough away. It's very removed from your day-to-day life. So you don't think about it. You don't, pay attention or whatever. So I think that's probably makes it hard for Americans to grasp a lot of what they're going through.
Definitely the first time in my life where you can literally watch a war live on TikTok.
Yeah.
That is all my TikTok has been filled with either clips of it or people that are actually live there in the middle of it. And then you've always got the idiots that are probably out in the woods here, just like at my house, and it's labeled at the bottom, Ukraine right now.
Yeah.
And you can tell they're nowhere, but you got 3,000 people watching it.
The funniest ones, and they're not funny because it is a serious situation, but the ones I've been laughing at, it's like 4 rednecks sitting around their garage or their machine shed. You see a 40-20 in the background or whatever. They're like, send us over there. We'll have it taken care of in like 15 minutes. And they're all carrying 30 racks of Busch Light. And they're like, we're ready to go.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a more serious situation than that, but it brings some humor to it, so I laugh.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe we need to be policing the world. I don't know what the answer is. You can't have Putin necessarily walk all the way across the world and take over everything. I get that, but sometimes it ain't our fight to fight. You know what I mean?
Should have listened to George Patton.
Yep.
We wouldn't be in this predicament. But there again, there's a lot of backstory. I saw some TikTok, so it could be completely false. But the one video, as I was telling you earlier, apparently there's some river that feeds Crimea. And the Ukrainians built a dam after the fall of the Soviet Union. They built a dam and shut the water off. Well, now that the Russians have taken that back during the Obama presidency with no resistance, they want the water turned back on. And apparently they've mentioned that a few times, and Ukraine hasn't turned it on. So I think they're going up there to turn it on themselves. If this had any merit, I haven't researched. And there again, how are you going to find facts on any of this? Because
you can't.
I can barely find facts on what's happening 2 miles from my house that are actually legitimate facts.
Right.
So.
And I don't think Biden and all these people realize that Putin's a hardliner. He don't jack around. He's a lot like Trump as far as if he tells you he's going to do something, odds are it's going to happen. And it's going to happen fast. He's not going to drag his feet and tell everybody his plan and everything else. He's going to do it. And that's going to be the end of it. So I don't think they know what to do, truthfully, as far as Washington goes. Nobody does.
Well, I think it was yesterday maybe that Putin made a speech, and there was some very direct but veiled threats in there.
Yeah.
And I think that our country needs to pay attention to that because he's not going to mess around.
No, but I also, if I'm the leader of the free world, I'm not getting bullied by Vladimir Putin. I can tell you that. He can bark all he wants, but
right. But you would be a much better leader than what we have leading right now.
Well, so would your dog Tucker. But
that's what I'm saying. I mean, we essentially do not have a leader right now, and so we are in a very poor situation.
When did Putin do these things? During the Obama presidency and during Biden's makeshift deal. You didn't see him do any of that during Trump's.
Yep.
Love him or hate him, he carried a big stick and he wasn't afraid to use it, even though he never had to.
Right.
Because everybody knew he would if he got backed in a corner.
The way the left is going to spin that, Trump and Putin were in bed together, they were big buddies, and you know how that goes, same old song and dance, and I can assure you that was not the case, but that's the way they're going to spin it.
What scares me about this whole thing is, are we seeing Hitler's footsteps rewalked? Oh, he's just going to take this 1 or 2 countries and then he'll back off. Oh, he's just going to take this and then he'll back off. Are we seeing the beginning of that? I hope not, but that's how that deal started too. Well, we're going to sanction him. We'll shut off, we won't sell him balloons anymore and he'll quit having parties, Well, they partied on.
Yeah, I guarantee you a lot of the countries in Europe are taking notes. Mm-hmm. I'll guarantee you they are.
Yeah, exactly.
I did hear today, the war started, yesterday? I did hear France already surrendered, so.
Yeah. There'll be a picture with Putin in the Eiffel Tower in the news tomorrow.
Exactly.
They don't want any part of it.
The French, you can't count on them for nothing. I did see, though, where was it Switzerland and one of the other countries was actually going to the negotiating table basically with NATO. Like basically, Switzerland is always out of everything.
Yeah.
But they're getting involved in this, which take it for what it's worth. I mean, but so I think they're a little bit concerned, that it probably needs stopped. But I don't know. I just feel like it's not our job to stop it. I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I really don't.
Well, there's a lot of negative effects on our economy if we don't stop it, though, somehow,
And the bad part is it comes back to your shitbag politicians. If we were energy independent, the pipeline wouldn't matter. And look at all the shit that we've done to create dependence on them.
Almost like people are making money under the table.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I just hope they get into Kiev and find all the shit that Hunter Biden did. Which actually that could come back to haunt us. So I mean, if you're going to use it as leverage against Biden, then he's going to bow down to whatever you ask. Give in, So, I don't know.
I do love a good conspiracy theory, and so I've been doing some reading, and I'm not saying I believe this, but there has been talk that the whole COVID, the reason they started this was so Putin could start war with Ukraine and take over this. Because basically with the COVID happening, it shut everybody down, and it made it easier for him to come in and take over.
I don't buy that because he could have took it regardless. Yeah, I mean, it would be like us going to Mexico. That's just not even comparable in military numbers. I mean, so I don't personally buy that just because
I don't either.
He could have done it without COVID, no problem.
Well,
I don't either. I always love how, and there are a few COVID conspiracies that I do believe, but I always love how anything that happens in the world, they're like, oh, well, they started COVID and that's why this is happening.
But the part that gets, in fact, me and Cody and Ryan were talking this morning, the thing that gets me with conspiracies and all these dang prophets and fortune tellers, they can always point this stuff out after the fact. They can never tell you in advance what's going to happen, but they can always come back.
Hindsight's 20/20.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I disagree with that because there's been several things that some of the people have said that 6 months later, it's come true.
Like what?
So the masks don't work and the numbers were wrong. 6 months later, the CDC is now agreeing with that.
That was common sense. Yeah. Anybody knew that.
Right, but at the time when you said that, you were called a conspiracy theorist. You were like, you're crazy. You're an anti-vaxxer.
I call those people patriots, Carolyn.
Yeah, I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm talking like this whole deal with Putin invading Ukraine, that they come back now that, that's why COVID was started. Well, no, it wasn't. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Okay. Okay, we're on the same page. I'll agree with you. Yeah. This time.
To me, it was just common sense not to wear a mask. But what do I know? So I guess the big trucker convoy kicking off this week.
Yeah.
See how that goes.
I'm not going to lie to you. There's part of me wants to find a black Trans Am and a cowboy hat. Maybe dive in on that. I can't really pull that off in the Volvo, but I could wheel the Trans Am.
I'm assuming like if they're wanting to go jam up DC or whatever, I would just put 6 Swift drivers in the lead, and there'll be a 9-car pileup within a few minutes.
It's a good chance.
And we'll have her shut down.
Some Wisconsin drivers out front.
In the left lane. Hold up traffic.
Because they teach that in Wisconsin driver's ed.
Yep.
Drive in the left lane, 55 miles per hour for 37 miles.
Yep. I agree.
Sorry if you're from Wisconsin.
Not sorry if you drive in the left lane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually, where were we headed? And I made a TikTok on that. There was some song, and it was like, "You're a left-hand lane loser," blah 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 blah. And were we on vacation or something? And I
don't remember.
I made a TikTok and I posted it giggling, and Nick's like, "Delete that right now." I don't even know what was wrong with it. It was the truth.
Yeah. I hate left lane drivers. I hate them.
Left lane Larrys. Or truckers trying to pass at 63 and a half, trying to pass the truck going 63 and a quarter. If your truck can't run the posted speed limit, you should never be in the left lane.
I agree.
To all those college-educated idiots, and I got nothing against college, I went there too. But you damn sure know somebody from a normal truck driver that can come up with that stupid rule. Yeah. If your truck won't run the posted speed limit, you either have to take 2-lane roads or stay out of the left-hand lane. You think they'll road speed limit these electric trucks? I mean, they'll be limited anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. In fact, talking of electric vehicles, this hit me this morning. Went out to thaw out the vehicles. We had a bunch of freezing rain. Everything was iced over. What are we going to do when these vehicles are electric? How are we going to get all this shit off the windows?
Push the defrost button.
Anyone?
Well, the same exact thing you do now. I mean, you'd go start it and...
In an electric vehicle, you're going to do that?
Well, you just start it in an electric vehicle and let it run.
I don't understand. Like,
You realize an electric car does not have an engine, a gas engine, right?
yeah, but it's
like a
have
golf cart.
defrost.
What were you going to heat the defrost with?
I don't know. I'm sure they have
An
something.
electric grid heater. So your battery will be dead by
That's
the
what
time
I
you get
mean.
in the car.
You know how bad heaters suck batteries down.
Yeah.
That's why your hairdryer is not battery operated.
Although Milwaukee really should make one of those.
That's the truth.
Hey, laugh if you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me that wouldn't be handy.
Milwaukee, if you were listening, my husband would like to be your brand ambassador.
Do you know how many of them they would sell? Because every guy would have to buy his wife one just because it's Milwaukee.
So Milwaukee on it. They just released a new pump now. You can stick in a bucket or whatever, hose hooks right to it. Pumps like 9 gallon a minute.
Really?
Yes, super awesome. I don't know what I need one for, but I can assure you I need one.
Actually, Milwaukee's marketing department is missing it big time. They just need to produce products for women, and their husbands will buy them for them because it says Milwaukee on it.
That's what we just said with the hairdryer.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. They're missing it big time. You could do hair straighteners. You could do curling irons, curler. I mean, you could. You could
It's
have
a whole new line.
the world is your oyster right there.
My bathroom would
Yes.
look like Nick's garage.
It looked like the tool
Yes.
section at
Milwaukee
The
stuff for
countertop,
miles.
there's like 17 Milwaukee Chargers lined up all in a row.
I mean, they're already making leaf blowers. You could neck that down to a hairdryer. No problem.
No problem, yeah.
Easy.
You could use it. You could
Weed eater
use it to
for
defrost
cutting.
your windows.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Problem solved.
$1 million idea happening right now.
Yeah.
But we're not in charge of Milwaukee, though. So,
All you got to do is contact them.
yeah, I don't know if they'd go for that or not.
No, they're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure
we know you guys are listening.
We know that you know that you know. I know.
I'm going
that you're
to
listening.
copy and paste this and send this to them in an email. Be
Go
like,
ahead.
Hey, please pay attention to minute number
You
35
laugh.
and 30.
You laugh. You think about the things 3 years ago that were not available in cordless fashion. 5 years ago in cordless fashion. Milwaukee has revolutionized that industry. Milwaukee's not sponsoring me by any stretch of the imagination. But you take any other company, like my thing is now, Snap-on might have an impact that beats them. But I'll never know because I'll never buy it because I have to have different batteries for that. My Milwaukee battery fits everything from my hair straightener
Exactly.
to my leaf blower.
I love that you said your hair straightener.
With a joke, Carolyn. But you know what I'm saying? One battery fits
Fits it all.
everything that I own now. So I even bought a jump starter the other day that takes a Milwaukee battery, and that thing's awesome. Milwaukee doesn't make that per se. There's another third-party company, but a Milwaukee battery goes right in it. Start your car if your battery's dead. Works badass.
That's how we can do the hairdryer. As long as it takes a Milwaukee battery.
Yes.
We can copy the color scheme. We just can't put Milwaukee on it.
Yeah.
We're going to sell
We're
it
on to
like
something.
Which is your favorite Milwaukee product?
My favorite Milwaukee product. Well, it depends on what situation I'm in. Whatever bails my ass out of whatever situation it is. Like when the outside spigot broke and I had to pump the water out of the hole, well, then it was my cordless water pump that kept the water pumped out of the hole while I was
That's a
fixing.
Milwaukee?
That's a Milwaukee. If I've got a tire flat on a semi on the side of the interstate, then it's my 1-inch Milwaukee Impact that is awesome.
I cannot believe what those battery-powered
That
impacts.
separates the men from the boys. That inch gun will break your hand if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But all my Milwaukee products are my favorite.
See, these women have all these makeup parties and Tupperware. Why don't we have Milwaukee parties?
Milwaukee parts. There we go.
Serious.
Cordless tools.
Yes! Oh my
Cordless
gosh!
tools.
Yes!
I mean, think how expensive that shit is. It's like all you got to do is sell one gun that you got.
I think we're missing out, Tony. Tomorrow we're going to load the trailer up with Milwaukee and Busch Light. We're driving from town to town. We're going to do roadshow podcasts,
Yes.
and we're going to sell
There you go.
Milwaukee and Busch Light.
Perfect.
There you go.
There we
Heck yeah,
go.
all you got to do is say, hey, you guys want to come hang in the garage and drink beer? And then just wheel out all your Milwaukee. Well,
Yeah.
so what do you guys think of this stuff? You could sell all of it.
Yep.
All of it.
We'll grab 2 guys that formerly work for Snap-on. We'll find a way these guys can buy this stuff for $20 a week for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
We'll have it taken care of.
Yeah. Oh, I think we're on to something.
Yeah.
I actually think this is a really, really good idea. I'm not going to lie. I do not know why the MLM companies have not tapped into the male market.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
for real, it's all geared towards women.
I will admit, when I walked through the farm show and come to the Milwaukee booth and it was nothing but a sea of red, I did get a little excited.
I saw that. I'm like, Nick, there's nothing there you need.
That's
Just
how
keep
I was.
walking. You don't want to carry it through the rest of the show.
It's sort
You
of like
hesitated.
I
You
know.
hesitated.
It's sort of like when
you had chills.
when you're getting on the train to go to war and you're telling your girlfriend goodbye, where you just can't look. You just gotta keep moving.
Yeah, just keep trucking. Yeah.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to look into this.
All quality ideas.
Write that down.
I'm like, I'm thinking about doing some home remodeling projects because Kelly will tell you the only reason I agree to do anything around the house is if it requires purchasing a tool I don't currently have. And I really want one of those cordless finish nailers, even though I'm not a finished carpenter by any stretch of the imagination. But I really want to own one of those.
We can cobble all kinds of shit.
Partially so I can have a nail gun fight later, but I really want one of those.
But let's back it up. It doesn't require a tool that you don't have. You'll buy new tools that you already have just for the sake of doing a home.
Sometimes Milwaukee comes out with new stuff, Kelly. You want the latest version.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go to a project with
actually, Milwaukee's probably a lot like John Deere and these other companies. They've got a whole warehouse full of this shit that's sitting there built, ready to be released. They just wait to the right time to flip the next card over.
Yep.
See what the latest trend is,
But yeah, think about it. They're like, you're not going to send some people out to weed eat with a normal weed eater because they're going to have their shoulder thrown out trying to get it to start.
Right.
The Milwaukee one, you just pull the trigger and it's light. You can send them off to war, weed eat away.
Okay, so here I'm gonna give you the ultimate question here. What do you do when Milwaukee comes out with an electric car? Do you buy one?
Does it take the same batteries? How many batteries I got to click into this thing? I'm going to look like Rambo with a bandolier of batteries. Go into town and click, 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 click. Kelly can attest. I probably wouldn't edge my sidewalks if it wasn't for Milwaukee. But since I have a Milwaukee edger, I edge them every week.
That is true.
Just for the sheer pleasure of doing it.
Never did it before we got that. And now he's like, well, we mowed. We need to.
Yeah. No, I'm like, we can't leave yet. The sidewalks need edged.
Yeah. Yeah. We never ever.
I didn't know an edger prior to that.
We never blew off the mowers at the old house until.
Well, you got to start up a gas one. That takes a lot of time. Cordless, bang, you're ready to go.
Okay, I got to ask because I just noticed you got one earmuff inside out. Are you having trouble here?
I can only hear out of my left ear.
I bet so.
Flip that over.
There you go. Flip it over. Nope. Flip it over. Nope. Here. You're going to break it.
I don't know how it got turned like that.
Oh,
there you go.
It was just how it was. That's how it was hanging.
You didn't notice you could only hear out of one ear?
I did notice
we did an audio
She's
test.
having brand new information right now.
We need Milwaukee cordless headsets.
It was 10 times louder than I normally hear anyway, so I was like, this is awesome.
For those of you listening, I do have an inaudible voice tone, as you well know, but my wife also has a hearing issue.
I can't hear him for anything.
Yeah.
I can't stand to listen to something out of one ear, like a Bluetooth. That almost drives me nuts. I got to have...
Oh, I love my Bluetooth. Wish Milwaukee'd make those too. If I don't have my Bluetooth and you call, I'm not just saying you specifically. I'm saying anybody.
May not answer.
I may or may not answer. If I think it's gonna be a long phone call, no, you're gonna wait. I'll call you back when I find my Bluetooth.
So brand loyalty. If you had to pick, would it be Milwaukee or International Harvester?
Well, International Harvester's not in business.
You know what I'm talking about. Your love for the old stuff.
Well, they're both red. They go hand in hand. If you have the one, you really don't need the other. But I buy them anyway.
I'm trying to think. I don't have a whole lot of Milwaukee. Got an Impact. Got 2 leaf blowers.
Where are the leaf blowers?
They're at work for the combine.
Exactly.
And then, like you're going to blow leaves anyway.
I might if I had a Milwaukee leaf blower. I might.
That's why we have mulching blades in the
that
mower.
old lawnmower. Yeah,
exactly.
Got to clean it up before you put it away.
I got a circular saw, a couple sawzalls.
At one time, they ran a special where they would give you X number of dollars for anything 18 volt, no matter the brand, and I canned all my other stuff off.
Really?
I liked my DeWalt stuff at the time, but if you didn't take the battery off the charger, it was probably dead. Where the Milwaukee stuff, the battery can sit around, it's fine, and you can see how much is in it. And battery technology has come so far, and that was kind of in the beginning of when they were changing stuff. And once you switch, you don't want about 10,000 different batteries, you know?
Yep, I agree.
The Milwaukee air compressor saves me more times than not. It's like, oh, the kid's bike needs charged up or aired up. There you go. You know, it's just whatever.
I've never owned any DeWalt stuff. Did you ever?
I had a lot of DeWalt stuff prior to Milwaukee.
Is it pretty good stuff?
It was all pretty good, but like I said, the batteries didn't. Battery technology has come a long way, and I'm sure their new stuff's better now. But at that time, Milwaukee came out with the lithium or whatever, and they make everything right. So their product line was so wide initially, and it just got better since then. Like if the DeWalt battery wasn't on the charger, it's been set in the gun, it's probably not going to go or won't last very long.
Gotcha.
But that was true of a lot of companies at the time. I mean, I remember I used to have those Makita drills or whatever that took the really long battery. Yeah, those were good for about 2 screws, and then you had to do something else. And those things have come so far.
Yeah. So basically what we're saying, if you gals need any remodeling done or whatever, we're on board. We're up to the task.
Pick a project.
You are, it's the way I want to get this down on paper. You are on board if I want any remodeling done.
Yes. It won't be done right. It won't be done square, but I'll get a bunch of new tools.
I'll say,
Okay.
if pick a project that requires new tools. So if it's a tool that I already have, nope. You got to pick something that I don't currently have.
I need a bathtub. That's what I need.
bathtub.
I need a bathtub. I need a
What
bathroom
is it with you and
a bathtub.
bathtubs? I don't like to
So
roll around in my own filth.
I don't want to do that either, but the Milwaukee cordless caulk gun is phenomenal. The cordless caulk gun, worth every penny.
Okay.
No, baths are just, they're amazing.
They're life.
Yeah.
They're life-changing. You can
I'm good.
You get to relax. So for me, being a runner, like one of the best things I can do after a long run is you're supposed to soak in an Epsom salt bath. Cannot do that. So my muscles are sore because I cannot soak in a bathtub because
It's
we
easier
don't have
and cheaper
a
to
bathtub.
just quit running.
That's not
You
going to
have
happen.
cattle tanks. So you should take an ice bath.
He did offer that.
There you go.
And he was like, I'll bring a cattle
Have
tank
you
down
never
there
seen
and hook it
Major
up.
League?
No.
I was
We'll
just
get a
gonna
trolley
say.
motor put in there.
For
You'll be
God's
good to go.
sakes, that's how Beth Dutton bathes, is in
Yeah.
a cattle tank.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be like Beth Dutton with a DeWalt or a Milwaukee tool of some sort.
Well, let's not get into that.
I mean, so I have a love-hate relationship with Beth Dutton. Like, I love her because sometimes, man, when she does stuff, I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. And sometimes she does things, and I'm like, you are just this side of crazy, and I'm not quite
She's
following.
crazy. But
Yeah, I don't want to be crazy. I want to be a badass, pardon my language, but I don't want to be crazy.
I'll give you the same advice my dad gave me once, Carolyn. All women are crazy. You must decide how much crazy you can put up with.
What do you say to that?
I am crazy. I will totally agree with that. I'm not Beth Dutton crazy.
No, that's a crazy I couldn't put up with, which is why I chose Kelly. The low-risk option.
I think every girl, there's parts of Beth Dutton that you want to be, but I don't want my daughter to be like her in any way, shape, or form.
No.
You know, like.
Sure. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I want my daughter to have the independent streak and the stand up for yourself kind of thing, but I don't want her to
Walk naked and bathe in a cattle tank in front of the hired
or have
men.
very inappropriate conversations with her father.
Yeah.
Although that is one of my favorite lines from the movie. So,
She's a different cat.
Yeah.
so would you like a Beth Dutton? Would you like it if I was Beth Dutton? You couldn't handle it.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a lot like Rip, you know. So.
Yes, you are absolutely sure.
Well, in some ways he is. Tony could get by with the same four pairs of jeans, all the same kind.
True.
He can get by with that, no problem.
'Cause that's basically what I have.
One good work coat gets him through. Like in many ways, Tony is Rip.
And ain't afraid to tell people to go to hell.
Yeah.
Are you taking people to the train station though?
No, I can't go
No.
that far.
Well, there's no trains around here, Carol.
And you're not chasing a Beth Dutton either. So
True. So yeah,
because I think a Beth Dutton would scare you.
Beth Dutton scares everybody at some
She
level.
scares me.
Yeah. She scares Rip at some level.
So in this whole Yellowstone thing, does Kevin Costner really talk like somebody squeezing his balls, or is this all for the show?
I think it's for the show.
think so,
I
too.
can't get past because it's like a fake gravel. It's just use your real voice. Yeah, I that drives me nuts. Does it drive you guys nuts?
It sounds like he's smoked like a pack of
Yeah.
unfiltered cigarettes right before they
Yeah.
say action.
Yeah.
But I think like the point of it is to show that he's led a hard life and he's a hard man. So life's wore him down. I think that's the angle they're going or whatever.
Could be. I don't know. It don't sound right. It sounds too rehearsed or scripted or something.
Almost like it's a TV show.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
it's
almost like it's a
not
TV
real
show.
life.
Yeah,
Yes.
like it's not like
Did you see what's the old boy on there with the Lloyd, where he refused the jab? And,
I did see that.
Yep. And he was apologizing or whatever because he couldn't go to some award show.
Screen Actor Guild Award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he basically said, "I'm not getting it, so I'm not going." And then he was apologizing to all his fans, and everybody's like, "Don't apologize."
Yeah. We're your people.
That's
Know
one
your
of the things
market.
that always baffles me. As an actor, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to make a stand," and then they make that stand, and then they apologize for making that stand. No, make your stand and stick to it. Quit
Make your
backpedaling.
stand like Kid
So you're
Rock.
saying I should change on TikTok? I shouldn't apologize for the way I
You don't. Well, I mean, there was that one press conference you did where you apologized.
And I did apologize to the kitchen seat guy
Oh.
that showed up on the wrong day.
Yeah.
You should have apologized for that.
I should have, yeah.
Although I can still, like, you text me and told me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know exactly how this went down. Like, I can see Tony flying across that driveway. I don't have time for you. Bleep, 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 bleep. And yeah, and I felt bad for him. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
That was pretty much it. But I legitimately, had he been selling seed,
Had a bad
I would
day.
have stuck to my guns. But when I just realized he was just there to say hi, then I did feel like a piece of shit. It's water under the bridge. And you know, he was the last seed cord salesman to stop by. He really was.
Now Tony's actual seed corn guy won't stop by.
Exactly.
He's like texting him in code.
Yeah. I don't know. But, you know, that was the number one thing that everybody said at Louisville, wasn't it? You call a spade a spade. Mm-hmm. I heard that from...
They do love that about you. Yeah.
And I shook, I'm going to guess, close to 1,000 hands and probably had at least 2,000 people who didn't stop me. They just took a picture as I walked by. Or
nodded,
said,
waved.
Yep.
Okay, so the best thing for me as his wife standing there watching was I'd see this group of young kids coming by and they'd double take and then I'd hear them whisper, that's growing corn. And then they'd whip out their phone and do like a side picture of him talking, but they weren't going to come talk to him. And I was like, please come talk to him.
Because they were wearing a seed corn hat and they didn't want to get yelled at.
And that one kid in the food court at work, just like I said, we're walking through the food court, and there was a whole line of people to get sandwiches. And we were just walking through, and this kid stopped me. He said, hey, are you that border view guy from YouTube? I said, no. And he said, oh, man, he said, you look like a guy that's got a YouTube channel. I said, nope. I said, I got one, but I said, I'm not border view. Okay, sorry to bother you. And we've got 20 feet up there. I said, you wait and see. He's going to realize who I was after the fact. And then sure enough, he commented on my video, God damn it, I saw you in the food court. But I didn't tell him any different. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Met a lot of good people.
It was. And it baffles me, like, I mean, because we're the most ordinary people in the entire world, but to see people wanting to meet you and get their picture taken with you and stuff like that, like, it was very humbling. I thought,
yeah,
you know, that
My,
they think enough
my
of
next
that.
T-shirt is going to say, Tony's fine. He's here somewhere. He's not with me. Because I had that question asked, well, those questions asked a million times. When's Tony getting here? I'm like, he's here. Where's he at? I don't know.
The funny part is, the afternoon that you and I walked through the show together, I don't think anybody stopped us, did they?
No, not really. We got
It's
some
because you
nods.
guys were at the Gleaner booth, so.
It was like Moses parting the Red Sea on that deal. There wasn't anybody within 25 miles of us on that deal. Everybody jumped ship.
Yeah, but we did. I told a lot of people that, like, do you check out the Gleaner? And I'm like, yeah, me and Nick,
Actually, we did.
We made like 3 circles around that. We're like, we just can't get on board with this piece of shit. I'm sorry, I just can't.
We really wanted to do a TikTok review, but we didn't, out of respect for AGCO and the things they have done in the world, we didn't do it.
Yeah. Yep, we thought it'd be best to be
Now,
done.
had we had a few beers, maybe, but
Yeah,
at that point in time, earlier in the day.
Well, I think Chuck Weldon was with us at the time. Wasn't
Yeah, we didn't want to drag Chuck down on that.
Yeah. No. But yeah, I had a lot of people ask me if I'd been to the Gleaner booth, and I had, but...
Well, there was that second day that we went, there was several people that we were standing. He wasn't checking out the Gleaner Combine, but we were just within proximity of it.
Red Power Stu stopped.
Oh, yeah.
Sat there and talked to him for quite
And
a
then
while.
there was several other people that came up and they're like, oh, we knew you'd be here by the Gleaner booth or whatever.
So I got a tractor pulling buddy of mine really, really good, thanks to you guys. His wife had messaged me earlier that he listens to the podcast, and he recently lost his father, who was a great, great man, Robert Martin. And so I set him up pretty good. Tony autographed a shirt for me or whatever. So I was talking to him in Broadbent, and we started just talking farming, tractor pulling, et cetera, and it turned to inputs and, the cost of stuff going on and whatnot. I said, yeah, I read a good article by you the other day. He's like, article. I didn't any article. I'm like, yeah. It's talking about the price of inputs and everything was getting so high that like some people were stooping even down to having to buy gleaners for combines because he's recently bought a gleaner. And then I wheeled out that shirt. His jaw hit the ground. His wife started busting over laughing. Like, I played it very well. It was pretty funny at the time. At least I thought so anyway, or whatnot. And so he was telling people, and he had his shirt there or whatever. She said he's never going to wear it. He's just, he's got it off to the side or whatnot. And it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's good. We dug through the box. And we had a couple Gleaner shirts, didn't we? So, yeah, I inked them and sent them on their way.
The best was you had to run out in the monsoon to grab them out of the van.
Oh, I did.
So somebody had given us some shirts or something from some booth. We'd got some.
Yep.
So he like wrapped them around him like a cape to go running out there to get the Gleaner shirts. But no Gleaner shirts were harmed.
I didn't think Friday we were actually going to get out of there because we decided Friday we wanted to leave at like 3 o'clock because we had a big get together that evening. And so we had milled around all morning and we was on our way out the door and we got stopped by numerous people. Just every 10 feet just kept stopping. Finally got all the way out to where they had them Deutz Fahr tractors sitting out by the front doors. Got all the way out to there and some gal come running out. And she was there with her husband at a booth. She's like, you got to come back to our booth and take a picture with my husband. He's one of your biggest fans. So I had to go all the way back, which is fine. It wasn't no big deal. But I didn't think
she had really nice boots. I remember telling her that. Her boots were really cute.
Oh, boots with a T.
Oh. I should clarify.
I thought you said originally.
Boots. She had really cute boots.
Okay.
Say statistics.
Yeah.
Statistics. I'm just fine with it tonight.
Well, it's that morning I took that shirt over or whatever, we've been working on a guy's tractor and I got to bed at like 5:30 that night. Woke up that morning, I'm like, man, I got to go over there and give that to Josh. All right, time to double up, put your big boy pants on, truck over there or whatever, but I really wanted to stay in bed. Like I said, you got to do what you got to do.
Yep, we had fun. Don't regret it a bit.
No, for sure not.
And the funny part is, because like I say, all of us sitting here take it for granted. We're just average Joes.
Yeah.
I mean, we ain't nothing. And it's weird how many people are intimidated to come up and say that. They wanted to, but they didn't, or they'd send you a message after the fact, hey, I seen you walk through the show. I didn't want to say
Well,
nothing.
they never know if you're going to do a video. Be like,
exactly.
Yeah, so maybe we should clarify. If you see Nick and Tony out and about, please, by all means, stop them and say hi.
Go ahead. Yeah,
you'll make their day, and they want to meet everybody. So
there was several kids that stopped me. Man, could you call my brother an asshole on Snapchat? I don't know how many videos I made on Snapchat.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they got a kick out of it. It was great.
Personalized Insults by Tony Reed.
Yep, exactly. Yep. It's amazing, though, the number one thing that I noticed at that farm show, it is baffling the amount of 60 and 70-year-old men that are on TikTok.
Yeah.
They're like, man, I watch your videos all the time. I had as many people that age tell me that as what I did younger kids. Easily.
Yeah, I talked to a few of them, and they're so we're talking about it or whatever, and I'm like, that kind of surprised me with you. Yeah, my son sent me a couple of videos, and then next thing you know, he put the app on my phone, and now I don't even need TV. That's what I do in the evenings. Watch you dipshits do, do whatever it is you do. He's like, but keep doing it. I'm having a great time. And it's like, all right, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah. That was the two comments I got was the weather reports and the you call a spade a spade. That's the two things that everybody remembered, I guess.
And there was several. They loved your podcast. They felt like they just were hanging out with you guys in the shed, drinking beer, stuff like that. So that was good.
Yeah, they don't know what a high-tech operation this is, Carolyn.
Oh, it's very high-tech.
Have you ever seen a
We
studio?
should take some videos of our studio.
Yep.
Gleaner Studios.
Yep. If we could get signal down here, I would just set the phone up on TikTok Live and not even pay attention to it, not answer a question, no nothing, but just go with it. But
we'll pull that off one of these days. Maybe this summer when the weather's nice, we'll just put it in the screen.
I got Starlink internet ordered. Have you guys, or you guys probably get good internet where you're at, don't you?
I wouldn't. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, here we
go. Better than yours.
I was going to say, it's phenomenal compared to ours. Let's not even play that game.
Yeah, so Ryan Peter got Starlink here, which he signed up for it a year ago, and he just got it hooked up here within the last few days. Said it works really good because he's just like us, can't get nothing where he's at. So I ordered it. It says it will be here late 2022. So
sweet.
We'll see what happens, but my luck, I'll get it and it won't work.
I like that late. It really gives you a specific time.
Yeah.
December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually an app on your phone that you can go outside. It's a Starlink app, and it'll tell you to point your phone at the sky, and I guess somehow it picks up the satellites. And so you walk around your yard, and it'll tell you like where the best spot to put it is or whatever. And it's weird, which I did read a little bit further into it. You would think with a satellite it wouldn't matter, night or day, but apparently it does. Because if you go out in the daytime, just like right out here south of the house, it's all great. It says it's perfect, you're good to go. But if you go out of a night and do it in the same spot, then it don't. So
it's funny how that stuff works. So where my brother lives is about a few miles south of town or whatever. And the local elevator put in a new grain bin. Didn't affect his internet during the day, but at night it would kill it every time because the thing it shot at. Yep, I got ink all over me. Yep.
Oh, you got it on your face.
We all noticed at the same time.
Yeah, I don't care.
Nick's playing with an ink pen and it busted.
And I broke it. And
you got ink smeared down your face and your hands.
That's what it is.
He looks like Papa Smurf.
But the reflection off that bin somehow, because it was just above that shooting over it, he didn't have any internet at night, which is super convenient. Just about the time you want to turn TV on,
right?
No internet.
Yep.
Okay, so here's my question: did you test the Starlink at night or during the day?
Both.
Both, and it was good for both?
So daytime was good. Nighttime, it showed like a 2% blockage, which they say can still cause problems, but we're going to hope for the best. It's got to be better than what we got now.
I was going to say, I know now, like, we'll go to turn the TV on at, like, it never fails. We'll turn it on at, like, 6 o'clock at night, and that's the biggest time when we have issues loading anything, and then it kind of evens out probably by 8 o'clock at night, I think.
Probably. I think there's a lot of people online at 6 o'clock at night or whatever. But that's one thing we cannot get here is good internet. Right now we run off a cell signal. We just got a hotspot, and that's barely enough to do anything. But
I saw a TikTok today. It's like, tell me a sound that this generation will never know. And it was the
dial-up.
Part of me wishes we go back to that, though, because you didn't jack around the internet back then.
Right.
You looked up what you would need to look up, and that was it because you couldn't stand the whole process.
That's basically what I have going on in my house. So I get on there, I get what I need done, and I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. But it's better than nothing. I don't know. So hopefully Starlink will work out. It's kind of pricey. Right now it's $99 a month once you get it hooked up. But it's unlimited data.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they'll change that one of these days. But a lot of people I read online, different reviews, said it's really good. People out in remote areas have had really good luck with it. So if nothing else, I'll get the chainsaw out and start cutting trees down until we get a good signal. Because I'm ready to have
I got a Milwaukee one if you need it.
Milwaukee, yes.
He's got a Milwaukee to take care of that. I told you to erect a freaking tower so we could...
Right, but if we do that, then we can actually get good internet like what they've got. It's because right now the trees are what's blocking it. But
I know, so just build a tower. Build it, and it will come, Tony.
it just pisses me off that the U.S. military, I'm sure, is not going without internet in the middle of nowhere. But we
That's
have
true.
to. It just... I know they can get it here.
Oh.
What do you do?
Yeah, got to put up with it, I suppose.
I guess. I can't believe they ain't knocked out the internet in Ukraine yet. You know what I mean? Seriously, I mean...
Yeah. Well, then they couldn't do the TikTok lives, so.
Right. That's what I mean. We're watching this whole thing unfold, but I'm surprised they haven't ixnayed that yet. But
Give them time.
yeah, it's coming. So, I don't know. Want to wrap this one up?
Yeah, we better.
Let Nick go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I got to wash my hands
Nick
and my
needs to clean
face.
his face.
Yeah. I'm
Maybe we should take a
covered in
picture
ink
of him
now.
first.
I'm covered in
He
ink.
looks like he's been to the police station and took fingerprints.
Oh, nice, young.
My God.
It was
your
a brand
whole-
new pen, too. I ruined your pen, Tony.
Your entire, both hands are covered.
Well, my hands have to be doing something at all
I
times.
just
so.
love it because we were just having this conversation. All of a sudden, I looked over and I was like, "Wait a
Yeah.
second, what's on his face?"
Yeah, it's just
And then I looked at Kelly and she looked at me and I was like, "We both saw this at the same exact time. We know."
Yeah. Everybody's a comedian. It's okay.
Hey, I like this because normally you guys make fun of me on the podcast.
It's okay. She better not take too many pictures. She fell out of the car earlier, so.
I did hear about that.
Yeah.
I did.
Watch that black ice, kids. It's dangerous.
So, do you need a new hip or
Not yet.
knee
Maybe tomorrow.
replacement? Maybe.
Probably, eventually.
She's still overcoming the injury she sustained here years ago when she caught her shoe and tripped on your porch.
Oh
So,
gosh, I
gosh.
forgot about that.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was the worst.
That south side of our deck will get you. It knocked your face in. Apparently you tripped one night.
Yeah, I had like 2 sprained ankles, bumped up my knees. It was horrible. Of course, Nick, he's like, well, if you didn't wear those damn shoes that aren't shoes.
Yeah. If you wear real footwear, it'd been fine.
Wearing some of them moccasin deals.
Yeah.
They were
well,
like ballet flats or something.
And the sole was tore loose. And yeah, we were hanging on to them. Probably still have them.
I think she wore them here tonight. So.
That wouldn't surprise me.
They're old friends.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We've had a good time.
Yep. We'll do it again for sure.
Yep.
Go get Nick cleaned up.
Yep. I'm going to go bathe real quick in Carolyn's non-existent bathtub. I wonder if Milwaukee has some sort of scrubbing device for this. We'll get cleaned up and we'll be back.
Could be. So, all right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next time.